But the 4-2 Dallas Cowboys are on the way up, and they return to greatness as America's team.
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Dallas Cowboys.
A capacity crowd of 65,000 is expected today at Texas Stadium as the Dallas Cowboys go after their fourth straight win, hosting the winless Cincinnati Bengals. And it'll be a warm one today. The temperatures are expected to reach the mid-90s. Hello, everybody. I'm Mel Proctor along with Joe Namath. You know, the Cowboys have shown improvement each year under the Jerry Jones, Jimmy Johnson regime. They're 4-2 so far this year. And, Joe, a major reason for their improvement has been the development of quarterback Troy Aikman.
No doubt. Troy Aikman, in my opinion, is one of the premier quarterbacks in the league right now. We saw Troy Aikman as a rookie in his second year. His supporting cast wasn't playing nearly as well as it is right now. The big question today, though, for Troy and Emmitt Smith, I might add, is the health of the offensive line. Both tackles are hurting a bit.
Well, Emmitt Smith has made a big difference in this team. He has 7 100-yard games in his 2 years here.
And he's averaging over 5 yards a carry right now this season. The thing about Emmitt Smith is strong. He makes you miss tackles. Cincinnati, when they get their hands on Emmitt Smith, they're going to have to bring him down. Otherwise, he's going to break tackles and make big gainers.
Defensively, the Cowboys have shown a lot of improvement, especially against the run.
Yes, well, Dave Wannstedt, defensive coordinator, changed things this year. He wants to stop the run. That's why they went out and got Tony Casillas to play at tackle, and Jimmy Jones is doing a good job at their other tackle. They've given up some long pass plays this season. That's what they're concerned with, but they've accomplished what they set out to do defensively, stopping the run for the most part.
The Cincinnati Bengals are a talented team. They have 8 Pro Bowlers, and yet they're a little bit like a time bomb, just ticking, waiting to go off. But so far, it's been very frustrating for Boomer Esiason.
Oh, it's been awful for that whole team because they know they can play football. The fans in Cincinnati know that there's better football in these players. Boomer, the last 2 weeks, hasn't completed 50% of his passes. They're having drop balls and turnovers, and that's really what's hurt this Cincinnati team, the drop balls and turnovers.
Cincinnati will receive as we're about to get underway from Texas Stadium. Bright sunshiny afternoon, clear skies, but very warm. Ken Willis with the kickoff. Eric Ball brings it back for the Bengals out to the 24-yard line.
Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler bring you this NFL Game of the Month. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered.
First down for the Cincinnati Bengals at the 25-yard line. And, Joe, both coaches agree the first quarter is very significant in this game. The Bengals feel that they've got to score early, cut down on their mistakes, which is what they didn't do a week ago. The Cowboys feel that if they're even with the Bengals at the end of the first quarter, they've got a chance to win. Esiason swings it to Brooks. Brooks to the 30-yard line, a pickup of 5 yards. Offensively, the 10-time Pro Bowler Anthony Munoz anchoring the Bengals offensive line. Fine center in Bruce Kazurski. In the backfield, Esiason, Brooks, Holman, Eddie Brown, all former Pro Bowlers. 5 former Pro Bowlers on offense, 3 on defense. When they go to 2 tight ends, Eric Tatis will check in to join Holman. Second down, 5. Harold Green and James Brooks are the running backs. Brown and McGree are the wide receivers. This is Harold Green trying to get outside. Brought down to 31 by the left cornerback, Isaac Holt. Defensively for the Cowboys, it's Tolbert, Casillas, and Jones up front, along with the pass rusher Jim Jeffcoat, Norton, Del Rio, and Smith, the linebackers. A marked man today will be number 30, Isaac Holt. Rookie corner Larry Brown has been playing very well, and Ray Horton has been the big play man each of the last 2 weeks. When they go to the nickel, Hendricks, Williams, and Bates check in. 5 defensive backs in this situation, with Stubbs joining the front 4. Third down, 4 for the Bengals. The pitch to Eddie Brown, setting up in the backfield. And he's got a first down.
Now that's some of Sam Weich's good offense. Putting Eddie Brown back there in the backfield, the Cowboys immediately were a little bit thrown off defensively. What are you going to do with the wide receiver in the backfield? Who's going to cover him? They see there's a big corner open out there. Jatan gets out there to throw a block, and Walter, nice little play for the first down. And more importantly, I think it's telling this Dallas Cowboy defense that we have some gimmicks for you guys that you're going to have to stop.
First down for the Bengals. Boomer Esiason has thrown only 4 touchdown passes. He's been intercepted 7 times this year. Boomer downfield to Tim McGee and almost intercepted. They go right after Isaac Holt, who's been a marked man every week. He had a big game last week against Green Bay, but the Bengals are going right after him.
Well, McGee's open. Esiason's off target here. He throws the ball a bit behind McGee for whatever reason. Holt nearly comes up with the interception. He is the right guy, by the way. Mel Holt is the guy to pick on because he does bite on a short move, and he's been beaten deep this season. But he had a good game last week up at Green Bay.
But he has given up some big touchdown passes this year. Second down and 10 for the Bengals. Brooks breaks the tackle and rips off about 9 yards. Eddie Brown threw a good block for him. Jack Del Rio, the middle linebacker, on the stop.
Well, that was mostly Brooks right there. I mean, he just ran around Ken Norton, number 51. Norton should make this play with the right technique, but Brooks put a move on him, and Norton couldn't get his feet under himself to make the tackle. That's a good gainer for first down play. Good gainer for any play, folks, 9 yards.
So the Bengals showing they can move the football early, and you can bet Sam Weich will be watching this spot with eagle eyes. He felt it on the last play of the game last week, that a bad spot may have cost him the opportunity to continue a drive that died at the 19-yard line. Sam is feuded with the officials and the media, very outspoken, very innovative, and he feels his team's about ready to explode. One of these teams is going to pay one day soon, and he's hoping it might be this afternoon.
And he's had some horrendous calls against his team. That call last week where they didn't call interference on receiving the punt was terrible. The spotting of the ball was off. I mean, I don't blame Sam for being upset.
They split James Brooks out wide to the right, along with McGee and Brown. Green the lone setback. Boomer over the middle, and it's incomplete, intended for Eddie Brown. Pass thrown a little behind him. James Washington there in coverage for the Cowboys.
You see, when your quarterback's on, things are going to move. Now, Boomer's had 2 open receivers the last 2 plays, but both times he throws it behind him. There's a little pressure here, but not the kind of pressure that's going to cause Esiason to be off target more times than not. He just had 2 off-target plays here. Now it's a 2nd and 10 situation. Well, I don't know. I think they're going to try and run who do they have in there right now? They got Green in there. I was going to go with Brooks again. That last play, they made a big gainer. Let's see if they come back with that play.
They go with 2 tight ends in this situation. Eric Caddis, number 84, is in the game. Brown splits wide right. McGee is wide left with Green the lone setback. Green, second-year back out of South Carolina, across midfield for about 3 yards. Tony Casillas and Tony Tolbert combining on the tackle, along with Ken Norton.
You see, this Jimmy Johnson Dallas Cowboy team knows how dangerous Cincinnati is. Coach Johnson says, hey, first we had to prepare for this no-huddle or style of no-huddle defense or offense, and that puts our defense already at a disadvantage. He's worried about Cincinnati getting out to a good start in the first quarter, and Jimmy Johnson has emphasized to his team they must not allow Cincinnati to get rolling early.
Brooks is back in on 3rd and 7. He's lined up in a slot right. He's a good receiver out of the backfield, and they bring Brooks in motion. Boomer's pass caught by Eddie Brown for a first down at the 34-yard line. The tackle made by Ken Norton, but he's the big play man who is still without a touchdown. He has only 12 catches, and 7 of them came last week.
Great pass protection from Boomer. Boomer's trying to get this ball over the middle to Holman. Now watch how Boomer comes off the middle and then goes back to the outside. Now, not many quarterbacks have the patience or the sharpness, I guess, to be able to do that. Here you see Holman coming off the line of scrimmage trying to get to the middle, and you'll see a defender kind of break underneath him. Here you go. Now, Holman's not open, so Boomer smartly goes the other way to Brown.
Gain of 14 yards on the pass play. First down for the Bengals. Two tight ends in the game, Caddis and Holman. Harold Green runs into Vincent Smith and is dropped at the 32-yard line.
Talked with Anthony Munoz yesterday. He says, hey, we're going to play loose. Check out his block, number 78. You see this cut block beautifully. Takes Jones out of the play. Big man has got a lot of finesse and a lot of football left in him, a lot of desire left in him. He said, we're going to go out there not worried about making mistakes. We want to have some fun. Just let it all fall out and get after him.
Munoz underwent rotator cuff surgery last year. He says he's in good health and feeling well and looking forward to this game. Second down and 8. Brooks is back in. Eddie Brown in motion. Boomer to Brown, who makes a leaping catch, and he's out of bounds at the 28. Chased out by James Washington. And the IPT 10-minute ticker. Cleveland and Washington, that should be a good one today at RFK Stadium, the nation's capital. Well, that's a busy place these days, isn't it?
That's awesome. Yes, it is busy.
Must be where the best game is.
No. Say, Esiason's been on target with his last couple of throws. That was a great catch by Eddie Brown, reaching up there with one hand and making the play.
Now the Bengals in the no huddle, but the fans are trying to make it difficult for Boomer to call a play.
Yeah, well, it's not going to affect that little sugar huddle when those guys are up close there. The noise doesn't bother him. It's one of the good reasons for using it.
Boomer better hurry, just gets the play away. Brooks. Not much there. Robert Williams, the nickelback, making the stop for the Cowboys.
Yeah, but you see how Brooks kind of stopped, pivoted, turned around, and got upfield to gain a couple of yards. Brooks didn't have the blocking that I'd like, but watch this little pivot when the defender gets close to him. He saves a couple of yards and nearly makes the first down. Looky there. That's pretty nice.
But the Bengals will have to try a field goal on fourth down. Jim Breach, who has scored in an NFL record 172 consecutive games, will try a 45-yard field goal with Lee Johnson holding for him. Breach has made 4 of 5 this year. It's on the way, and it is good. And the Bengals take the lead. I'm sure a little disappointed they didn't get a touchdown, but they'll settle for the 3 points on a 45-yard field goal by Jim Breach.
What a kick.
Offensively, Joe, at tackle, Alan Feingrad moves into the starting lineup in place of the injured Mark Tuine. Nate Newton is not at full strength. He twisted his knee last week. Emmett Smith having a great year, on a pace to break the club rushing record. Novacek had a career day last week, 11 catches for 141 yards, and they go to their 3-wide receiver offense, which we have dubbed the no-name. Kelvin Martin, who has a name, Kmart.
How did he get that name? How did he get Kmart? Huh?
It's short for Kelvin Martin. There's no real story behind it. We sent our investigative reporters in to find out, and that's all we could discover.
You're kidding, just because it's Kmart. That makes sense.
Nothing catchy like Broadway Joe, just Kmart.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
Brought down by James Francis. The pass intended for the tight end, Novacek.
Check number 50 out. If you're on the left side of your screen, he gets back in coverage. He gets a hand on the ball. Nearly picks it off. It was not a good throw by Aikman. Had Aikman had the ball out in front of Novacek, it would have been complete.
Mitch, Crumry, and Grant up front. Francis, an outstanding young linebacker. Leo Barker starts this week in place of the injured Kevin Walker, who hurt his knee last week. Phillips and Thomas at the corners, and the 3-time Pro Bowler Fulcher in the backfield. Emmett Smith on the carry.
That Tim Crumry got right in there. Now, he's not having the kind of season he used to have in numbers-wise, but Crumry is the kind of guy you want on your team. He keeps things charged up in practice. He makes guys give 100% plus. He still has a pin in his leg. He's not his old self, but look how he fights through the outside of a double team to make the tackle on Emmett Smith.
Sam Weiss said he may not have the lateral movement and quickness he possessed before the leg injury, but he's still a great asset to our football team with his enthusiasm and the intensity he brings. Third down 10. Aikman under pressure, gets a wobbly pass away, almost intercepted by Ricky Dixon. So the Cowboys will have to kick it away. Mike Saxon into punt, averaging 33.6 yards per kick.
Real good pressure by the Bengals that time. Two objectives the Bengals have on defense. Stop Emmitt Smith, put pressure on Aikman. They did just that in this series.
Mike Barber awaiting the kick. Wide receiver who runs back punts. Cincinnati leading 3-0 in the first quarter. The Cowboys unable to move effectively, and Saxon gets it away. Barber at the 35 looking for blocking. And brought down at the 45-yard line. So with 7:16 remaining in the first quarter, it's Cincinnati 3 and the Dallas Cowboys nothing.
Crafted performance. By Miller Lite, it's it and that's that. By the people of UPS, now offering next day air delivery on Saturdays. And by Xerox Antifreeze Coolant, the temperature never drops below Xerox.
The Cincinnati Bengals begin their second drive at the Bengal 45. They lead 3-0. The Cowboys have won 2 of the last 3 played here in Texas Stadium, but the Bengals have won the last 2 in the series. Harold Green with no place to go. Brought down the 46-yard line by Tony Tolbert and Tony Casillas.
We got an 0-5 club in Cincinnati playing a pretty good team against Dallas at the NFC, and you see what happened in '90. They split. Now, this year so far, that NFC has an edge. It's a long season. I look for this series to be closer. But right now, I think the NFC has more better teams playing than the NFC, certainly, or than the AFC. Certainly the AFC's Cincinnati Bengals aren't playing up to their potential.
On 2nd and 8, the Bengals have 2 tight ends in the game, Holman and Caddis. Green in the slot left with McGee and Brown, the wide receivers. And Boomer back to throw. And his pass is complete to Tim McGee for a first down near the 38-yard line of Dallas. Larry Brown on the tackle.
Your offensive line gives you this much time. You're going to find somebody open. Look at that wall up front of Cincinnati's offensive line. Jack Del Rio gets pushed out of the way late. Boomer has plenty of time to come to his late receiver, Tim McGee, his third choice in that pattern. Excellent pass protection.
Jim McGee, who replaced Chris Collinsworth as the starter at wide receiver for the Bengals in 1988. He's a leading receiver on the club this year with only 14 catches. Harold Green hit by Ray Horton coming up in the secondary to make the stop. Horton, the ex-Bengal, acquired as a Plan B free agent from Cincinnati 2 years ago.
You know, I asked Ray yesterday about any ill feelings he might have toward the Bengals. He said, no, man. Hey, I had a good time there. You know, I might be a little more hyped up if this were 2 years ago or so when I first came to the Cowboys. But now I'm a Cowboy. You know, they're just another opponent to me. But you know, Mel, I can't help but wonder how much he can be aided by knowing some of the calls that the Bengals offense has. And I know he's helped the Cowboys a bit because they're his team now.
2nd down and 10. Boomer changing the play at the line of scrimmage. The Bengals lead 3-0. Harold Green trying to break a tackle, but wrapped up by Vincent Smith, the third-year linebacker from East Carolina. And Ray Horton also in on the stop. Horton made the headlines this week after his big game last week against Green Bay when he picked off a pass and ran it back 65 yards. He serves as his own agent, and I guess he felt it was a good time to talk to management about maybe renegotiating his contract. So he hinted that he might go back to Seattle on an off day and work on a business venture in the golf industry, a teaching center he's trying to set up, and said that he wanted to renegotiate. He said nothing has been done yet, but he got some assurances from owner Jerry Jones that things would be taken care of.
He's playing awfully well.
3rd down, 5. Boomer's pass is complete to Craig Taylor. And Taylor appears to have first down yardage at the 25. Taylor was involved in a key turnover last week, driving for a touchdown early in the first quarter. The Bengals drove down to the 3-yard line, and he fumbled. Taylor in there apparently because Eric Ball is hurt. He's being taken off the field.
Didn't see what happened to Eric Ball. We'll get the report as quickly as possible. But right now, the way this first quarter is going, it's going the way Sam Weiss wants it and the way Jimmy Johnson doesn't. Jimmy Johnson said they're 0-5. We can't let them breathe in the first quarter. Maybe they'll lay down a bit, but they're not going to.
James Brooks trying to get outside. And he gets to the 16-yard line. The Bengals throwing effectively and running well as they continue this drive.
Oh my goodness, what a hit by Ray Horton.
That's what it sounds like, and you get an idea what it might feel like getting hit like that.
Wow, I bet you could even hear that at home. That was so hard. Wow.
Only if you have the volume turned up on your television.
Ah, well, I would think so with us doing the game now. My goodness.
Speak for yourself.
I am.
They measure to see if the Bengals, and they are short.
Yeah, but it's a great offensive situation. Second and about a foot. The pressure's entirely on the defense here. The defense wants to stop him from making the first down. The offense has the old waste play. Maybe even two. They can try and get it in the end zone with the pass, knowing Boomer knows that Dallas wants to stop the run on this next play. So Boomer may very well have one of his wide receivers one-on-one or just a single coverage.
Sam Weiss, who serves as his own offensive coordinator, former quarterback with 5 different teams. Second down and 1. The Bengals lead 3-0 with 3:18 remaining in the first quarter. Eddie Brown is wide right, Tim McGee to the left. Taylor and Brooks are the running backs. Brooks following Taylor, who throws a good block, and Brooks gets inside the 10-yard line. Larry Brown on the tackle for the Cowboys. The Redskins have taken a 7-0 lead over the Browns. The Redskins, one of 2 undefeated teams, the other the New Orleans Saints, playing the Eagles today. Buffalo leading by 14 points over the Colts. Minnesota jumps out to a 7-0 lead over the Cardinals. We have an injured Cowboy. Vincent Smith is down. Smith in his 3rd year from East Carolina, a Plan B acquisition from the Steelers. So we'll step out with the Bengals ahead 3-0 in the first quarter.
The Dallas Cowboys 19-1
It will be first and goal to go for the Bengals. Boomer Esiason mixing the pass and run effectively. He's 5 for 7 passing, and James Brooks has carried 4 times for 27 yards.
You know, we have right now rookie Dixon Edwards at a linebacker taking the place of the injured Smith. I wouldn't be surprised to see Cincinnati challenge that rookie linebacker right now in pass coverage if possible.
2 tight ends in the game for the Bengals. James Brooks looking for blocking, spins, and is brought down near the line of scrimmage as Ray Horton, who's had a strong first quarter, makes the tackle.
Well, the Bengals went back to what got him a couple of good gainers with James Brooks there, but that time the Dallas Cowboys defense is playing awful tight. They don't have much ground to cover, so they're playing that line of scrimmage a bit more aggressively. I was saying they ought to go after the rookie linebacker, find a formation that will put Coach Johnson's man in one-on-one coverage. Try and test the rookie if you can.
Eddie Brown is back in the game at wide receiver. Loss of a yard in the previous play, so it's second and goal from the 10. They line up Brooks wide to the right. McGee is in motion. Boomer to McGee, knocked out of bounds at the 4-yard line by Isaac Colt.
Pretty good gainer, but Boomer's just a hair off. If Boomer has his ball out in front of McGee, it's a little more yardage they're going to get. Boomer completed one earlier to Green, who's behind him. They gained yardage, but not as much as they could have. If this ball had been the other way, McGee maybe could have taken it in the end zone.
Well, the Bengals have experienced a lot of frustration down inside the 5 this year. 4 times they fumbled the ball away inside the 5-yard line, including in the first quarter last week. 3rd and goal. Brooks. Touchdown Bengals. James Brooks with his second touchdown of the year as the Bengals go up 9-0.
Oh, Coach Johnson's not happy with this. Let's check out Anthony Munoz, number 78. See who he gets. He blocks to the outside on Ken Norton, drives him back and stays with him, and Reimers does a good job of getting in the end zone with his man. Excellent blocking for James Brook, and Boomer Esiason by his offensive line this first quarter.
The Cowboys had gone 14 quarters without allowing the opposition a rushing touchdown, but Brooks puts it into the end zone, and Breach kicks it through to make it 10-0 Cincinnati with 1:50 remaining in the first quarter from Texas Stadium.
It's stuck. You see?
Yeah.
Every channel. Light beer. Light beer.
Possession in the first quarter. The Cowboys have had only one possession, 3 plays and a punt. They've had the ball for only 1:06 in the first quarter. The Bengals putting together 2 long, time-consuming drives. The first drive, 5 minutes and 26 seconds. And the other drive, 6 minutes and 38 seconds. And it's 10-0 Bengals.
Well, you know, you're seeing a game the way you expect to see it, not the way this season's unfolded so far. The Bengals supposedly are the better team. If you didn't know they had an 0-5 record and you saw these two teams play or knew they were going to play, you'd make the Bengals favorite.
Brooks touchdown run capping the last drive. James Dixon brings it back. He's dangerous, but good coverage downfield by the Bengals as the tackle was made by Ed Brady at the 15-yard line.
Take another look at that touchdown in a minute. I'd say that offensive line of Cincinnati's is doing some job up front, both in pass protection and opening the holes for the running game. Take a look at the touchdown to left guard and left tackle there. Reimers and Munoz open a hole. Watch Brooks cut back smartly right there. Ray Horton couldn't get around the block of Anthony Munoz. Munoz actually screened 2 players that time with his block.
First down for the Cowboys. Emmitt Smith and Darrell Johnston are the running backs. Cowboys ineffective on their first possession. The pitch to Smith. And Emmitt Smith off to the 18-yard line where James Francis and Carl Zander bring him down. Smith carried 32 times, a career high last week against Green Bay, and rushed for 122 yards. And that was against the league's best rushing defense. The Packers had allowed an average of only 2.5 yards per carry going into that game.
Yeah, Smith broke out more the second half, but again, as we mentioned at the beginning of this game, Nate Newton's not 100% at right tackle. His leg's hurting him. Left tackle, we have Vinograd, and school's out on how they're going to perform today.
Second down, 7 for the Cowboys. Aikman. And the pass complete to Kelvin Martin. Kmart making the catches. We're under a minute remaining in the first quarter. Rookie number 1 pick, Alfred Williams, out of the University of Colorado on the stop.
Of course, Cincinnati's defense, there's Kelvin Martin. A nice catch that time. Kmart.
First down.
Yep. Aikman got the ball to Martin that time. He had good pass protection, and I've really been impressed with the play of Troy Aikman so far this season. Well, actually, the last 2 seasons. He's getting more help from his offensive line, and Smith, Novacek, and Aikman, to me, is just one of the toughest guys you're going to find at quarterback. He'll stand back there and get hit and come back at you.
Emmitt Smith stacked up. Good hit by Alfred Williams. Sam White is saying Williams and James Francis, the 2 young linebackers. Williams, a rookie, Francis in his second year, both going to be outstanding players. And as the first quarter comes to an end, Cincinnati doing what they want, leading at 10-0.
This Heisman Trophy moment.
Total dominance by the Cincinnati Bengals in the first quarter. Look at the time of possession. 12 minutes and 4 seconds the Bengals had the football.
Well, you know, in that first series of downs for Dallas, they were 3 and out. And Cincinnati's both series they made a nice drive. And again, the main reason is Cincinnati's controlling that line of scrimmage with their offensive line and also their defensive line at this point.
Second down and 8 for the Cowboys. The Bengals lead 10-0 as we begin the second quarter from Texas Stadium. Emmitt Smith trying to get on track. The Bengals have done a good job slowing him down so far. David Fulcher makes the stop. Sam White was saying Fulcher has been in the Pro Bowl 3 times, but he's got to do a better job for us if he's going to win. He's not having his best year.
And Emmitt Smith's not going to stay quiet all afternoon. This guy has a knack of breaking tackles and breaking the long gainers. He had a minor rap in college. They say he didn't have the breakaway speed, but Coach Jimmy Johnson said, hey, every time I studied this guy and watched him collegiately, the reason we drafted him, he'd come up with long gainers. He makes the long runs, and so I'm not going to be surprised to see Smith break one sometime soon.
He has a 75-yard run and a 60-yard run to his credit already this year. Ernie Kukar is our referee this afternoon, and what could be the topic of this discussion? May have an injured referee.
You know one thing,
The umpire may be injured.
Cincinnati has certainly kept this crowd out of the game so far. The Cowboy crowd really enthusiastic with their team. They wanted to get behind them, but the way Cincinnati's dominated ball control, the crowd has been relatively quiet. They've tried to disrupt Cincinnati's offense, but haven't been able to.
Looks like the umpire, Gordon Wells, is ailing. Apparently he got hit. Looks like they're checking his shoulder.
Oh, that
hurts.
Well, he doesn't have to throw today. Right in the middle of your screen at the top on the hash mark. Let's see if we can tell what happens to the umpire. He's backing up. Well, watch what happens. You'll see him go flying a bit to the right. You see his legs.
That's clipping.
No flags either. They missed that one. That's some outfit right there.
Fans returning to the Cowboys. The following dropped off somewhat after Jerry Jones took over and they went 1-15. Tom Landry was fired and the fans stayed away for a while, but with this team winning, they're coming back, and we have a sellout crowd of 65,000 plus here today.
Aaron Pointer, our umpire, is going to suck it up and finish the game, or try to.
3rd down 3. Aikman's pass is complete to Jay Novacek. No, it's incomplete. Apparently he trapped it. Leo Barker there in coverage.
Well, let's take a look. I think it was a good defensive play. This is the kind of ball Novacek will generally hold on to. Just see Barker come over there. Well, I'll tell you, that's a pretty close call there. I don't know whether that was incomplete or not. I'd like to get another look at that one.
So the Cowboys again frustrated, unable to move, and they'll have to kick the ball away.
Let's take another look at this. Does he have possession of this ball before he hits the ground with the ball? If he has possession, let's take a look. He might. No, forget it, Jack. That's incomplete.
It looks like they'll review the play, though.
Yeah, well, to overrule this incompletion call, the replay officials have to have undisputable proof that it's caught, and I don't think you can get that from that replay, certainly.
The play stands at call. 4th down. So the play stands at incompletion, and Mike Saxon will have to kick it away. 14:23 remaining second quarter. The Bengals lead 10-0. Saxon, a 7-year veteran from San Diego State. Kicking to Mike Barber. Good kick. Barber signaling for a fair catch, and the Bengals will begin this drive inside the 20. But Cincinnati has played well so far. James Brooks with a 3-yard run, a field goal by Jim Breach, and it's 10-0 Bengals.
Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call Domino's Pizza right now, and you'll be enjoying a hot, delicious pizza during halftime.
Mel Proctor with Joe Namath back at Texas Stadium with 14:16 remaining in the second quarter, and the road gets tougher for the Bengals. A Monday night game at Buffalo, followed by Houston. Sam Weiss said we'd better win today or we could easily be 0-8. I think it's also safe to say that if the Bengals don't win today, you're going to see some wholesale personnel changes in the part of Cincinnati. There's some guys that are probably not playing up to their potential so far. Boomer having to throw to a secondary receiver. Harold Green unable to hold on. Good hit by Ken Norton.
Well, that's the kind of thing the Bengals have been doing, shooting themselves, dropping the ball, shooting themselves in the foot. Once again, though, that offensive line of Cincinnati's has given Boomer Esiason plenty of time. That time, Boomer looked at 2 or 3 different receivers before he finally came to Green for the drop. With that kind of pass protection, I would expect Cincinnati to throw a lot of passes, but they've been keeping their run-pass ratio pretty tight.
I mentioned the drop passes. Sam Weiss said in the Redskins game, the 4th game of the season, they had 9 drop passes. James Brooks back in as the lone setback. Brooks. Chopped down nicely. Mickey Pruitt, who was just activated today. Pruitt, a backup linebacker. The Dr. Pepper 10-minute ticker. The Browns have tied the Redskins 7-all in the second quarter at RFK Stadium in Washington. Philadelphia leading by a field goal over the Saints, who are unbeaten. Buffalo 14, the Colts nothing, and the Vikings up on Phoenix 7-0 in the second quarter.
Yeah, those first two scores are a bit of a surprise. I know it's early, but Cleveland with Washington neck and neck is a surprise, and certainly Philadelphia without Cunningham or McMahon leading New Orleans is a big surprise.
4 wide receivers in the game now for the Bengals. On 3rd and 11, Boomer from the shotgun. Incomplete. Intended for either Mike Barber or Tim McGee. Both were in the area, and the Bengals will have to kick it away.
Oh, Boomer's upset. Barber had the deep pattern. He got spun around and turned around. Maybe you'll be able to see this. There's McGee going downfield, and let's check out Barber coming into view. It looks like Barber's going to be able to break, but he tripped up and pulled up. You see how he turned around right there, and Boomer threw the ball downfield. Miscommunication between Boomer and Barber. You got to keep running when you get back there. You can't turn around and stop unless the quarterback's scrambling, and your quarterback, Esiason in this case, is releasing that ball while Barber's still heading upfield.
Lee Johnson will kick it away to Derek Shepard. Good driving kick. Shepard will take it at the 30. He had a chance to break that one for a big gainer, but is tripped up at the 42-yard line. A 53-yard kick by Johnson, but Boomer is upset.
Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Diamante, the new luxury performance sedan from Mitsubishi. By Coors Light, the silver bullet is the right beer now. By Fram oil filters. Fram, you can pay a little now or a lot later. And by Old Spice deodorant, because prevention is the ultimate form of protection. Count on it.
Boomer Esiason upset. Frustration surfacing, yet the Bengals lead 10-0. Cowboys ball with 13:03 remaining in the second quarter. Trey Aikman back to throw, and he's going deep downfield. Caught by Alexander Wright. Stopped short of a touchdown.
Alexander Wright on the left side of the screen is going to end up in the middle. He'll beat Thomas to the middle. Where's Dixon, the free safety? Not back there. Dixon, 29, should have been back there, I believe, giving some help in the middle of the field. Eric Thomas beaten to the inside. Good pass protection. You see Aikman still standing and watching the finish.
First and goal for the Cowboys at the 3-yard line. A 53-yard pass play to Alexander Wright. Emmett Smith trying to take it in. He's stacked up by Bernard Clark, number 57, backup linebacker. Alfred Williams also in on the tackle. But Alexander Wright has been somewhat of a disappointment this year. He has great tools. He was clocked in the 40 at 4.09 seconds, which is incredible. He bench presses 385 pounds. He has a 37-inch vertical jump, yet he held out in training camp last year, and last season was really a washout for him, and Jimmy Johnson has been waiting for him to produce, and he has.
That's right. That's a big feather in his cap, that last play, because Wright hasn't been contributing as much as Jimmy Johnson would like.
Jay Novacek in motion. Play action by Aikman on the rollout. Trying to take it in himself. Touchdown.
Another dimension to Troy Aikman, being able to take that ball upfield. His tight end, Alfredo Roberts, was knocked down in the end zone. Aikman kept that rock and ran it on in.
Aikman's second rushing touchdown of the year. And Ken Willis to try the point after. He is perfect, 13 for 13 this year. Jay Novacek holding for him. And the Cowboys finally get their offense on track, and it's 10-7 Cincinnati.
On the right side of the screen, 87, Alfredo Roberts will be down on his hands and knees, and then he gets up and gets covered, and there you go. Troy Aikman into the end zone.
You spend it.
The Bengals jumped out to a 10-0 lead, but the Cowboys have come back on a touchdown run by Troy Aikman. And Joe, we talked about the frustrations of Boomer Esiason, and you can sympathize with him. You played on a 1-7 team. They got off to a 1-7 start, 74 with the Jets. What's it like?
It's awful. We had a lot of infighting, fighting on the sidelines, whatever. What happened is we lost some of our best Texas players. That's what led us to that. We had Jim Hudson, a strong safety, Pete Lammons, a tight end, guys that played for the University of Texas. And when we lost those kind of guys, our team went downhill.
Ken Willis' kickoff is taken by Joe King, and he's run out of bounds inside the 20, so the Bengals again will have poor field position. We understand the Cowboys' fine young linebacker Ken Norton has been taken off the field with an injury to his arch.
Well, you know what? You know what? That's two linebackers that are out right now for Dallas, and then they're going to have two young linebackers in there filling in for him. So I would look for Sam Weiss, being the expert that he is, to attack Jimmy Johnson's linebackers. Try to get those guys on man coverage, see if they can cover the substitutes. They're not as good as Norton or Smith that's out, so you want to test them.
Derek Brownlow, a 237-pound rookie from Illinois, has replaced Norton. Boomer Esiason to throw over the middle to his tight end, Rodney Holman, and he's brought down to 29-yard line.
I'll tell you, Esiason did the right thing there. He's throwing in an area of linebackers between Derek Brownlow and Del Rio. Del Rio has the side of the field here, and you'll see Brownlow come into play. He just splits the seam right there. Even though Brownlow and Del Rio make the tackle, they're leaving a hole in the center of the field. I look for Boomer Esiason to keep attacking these linebackers.
Gain of 13 yards and a first down. James Brooks and Harold Green are the running backs for the Bengals. McGee and Brown, the wideouts. Boomer changing the play. Going to have to hurry to get this one off. And just does. Brooks trying to cut back. Brought down to 32. Coming up next on most of these NBC stations, Game 2 of our NFL doubleheader. Most of you will see Warren Moon and the AFC Central leading Houston Oilers take on the Jets' Blair Thomas in the conference second-ranked rushing attack. Others will see the Dolphins battle the Chiefs in a rematch of last year's thrilling playoff game. Check your local listings. Here at Texas Stadium, it's 10-7 Bengals with 9:47 remaining in the second quarter. On 2nd and 7, Esiason's pass through the hands of Eddie Brown.
Just another throw that Boomer didn't quite get on target, but Boomer is attacking the linebackers. Right now, the Cowboys have Del Rio, their middle linebacker, playing in the strong linebacker position, and he splits Del Rio, makes Del Rio bite on the underneath pattern, but he misses. Esiason misses Eddie Brown with the pass.
Bengals in their sugar, no-huddle offense. Really not designed to speed up the tempo of the game, but to catch the defense in mismatches, prevent them from getting in extra defensive backs in passing situations or to getting in their run defense in run situations. They want you to play 11 on 11 and not make personnel changes. Boomer gets belted, and there's a penalty marker down as his pass is incomplete. Daniel Stubbs hit him just as he unloaded.
Yeah, but there's a flag down in the area where it could be pass interference. It's downfield where the receivers run, but it's going against Cincinnati, a push-off. That's a surprise.
Offensive interference against the Bengals.
Not a good series for Boomer and his Bengals, and it's just what the Cowboys needed after that touchdown.
Offensive pass interference number 82, decline, 4th down.
Well, the Cowboys decline the penalty. It'll make Lee Johnson punt.
He called Rodney Holman for pushing off that time.
Derek Shepard is back deep, awaiting Johnson's kick. Lee was a barefoot punter when he first came to Cincinnati, but now kicks with a shoe. He said he can't kick the ball as far as he did before, but has better control.
And a warmer foot.
He gets off a good kick. Derek Shepard inside the 20. tripped up at the 23-yard line. So with 9:27 remaining in the second quarter, it's the Bengals 10 and the Cowboys 7.
Offensive pass receiving with offensive pass interference is called at home, and 82 in the center of your screen. Watch how he bumps in the base here now. When he gets his arms up a little bit, it's called. But look how late this flag's going to come in here. Well, he's running a little more. Now the flag comes in. That was a lousy call.
First down for the Cowboys at the Dallas 23. Emmitt Smith, who has only 11 yards, picks up a couple. To the 26-yard line from Ryan Mitz on the tackle. Dr. Pepper 10-minute ticker. Shows the Redskins leading the Browns 14-7. Philadelphia with 2 field goals, up 6-0 over the Saints. Colts on the board. It's 14-6 Buffalo. And Minnesota's opened up a 14-0 lead now over the Cardinals. Second down 5 with 8:59 remaining. Second quarter from Texas Stadium. It's 10-7 Bengals. Darrell Johnston and Emmitt Smith, the running backs for Dallas. Aikman complete to Michael Irvin. Brought down at the 34-yard line by inside linebacker Carl Zander.
Well, time of possession usually tells the tale who's winning the game or not. Cincinnati certainly has controlled the ball, but they're only up by 3 points, and the Cowboys seem to have their offense in gear now. They picked up another first down. Aikman is getting the kind of pass protection he needs to choose his receivers. So far, Aikman's running game, however, hasn't worked very well.
Aikman loves this offense. He said it's very similar to the one that he ran at UCLA. Aikman downfield, complete to Michael Irvin for a first down at the 40. And he really took a hit.
Oh, he did. Michael Irvin down on the field right now got stunned a bit. He beat Lewis Billups to the inside on a post pattern on the right side of your screen. He'll just get inside, and then Aikman with pass protection once again delivers right on the target. Look at it. That's terrific.
Ricky Dixon of the Bengals, who came in there late on that hit, is shaken up, and Irvin also a little woozy. He's the big play man, Michael Irvin, in his 4th year out of Miami, where he played for Jimmy Johnson. Irvin is on his feet, but Dixon is still down. The Bengals can ill afford to lose someone in the secondary. Next Saturday, basketball is the focus when NBC Sports travels to Paris for the McDonald's Open. Magic Johnson and the Lakers will represent the USA in this international tournament that also features top teams from Yugoslavia, Spain, and France. So see the Lakers tip off against Europe's best, a precursor to Barcelona in 1992, and Magic and the other NBA greats represent our Olympic team.
Tell you what, if the rest of the country is going to use their best, we might as well use our best. And I'd be really surprised if I see anyone even challenge our basketball team. Ricky Dixon up and moving off the field under his own power. He appears to be okay.
Dixon, who plays with a heavy knee brace on his left knee, underwent surgery a year ago, and Michael Irvin being attended to on the Cowboys sidelines. There's Alexander Wright, who hauled in that 53-yard pass from Aikman earlier in the game. They want more from him. In fact, Jimmy Johnson's a little disappointed. He said if Wright doesn't start producing, you'll see more of Alvin Harper, who was just activated this week.
And in the game right now.
First down for the Cowboys. Emmitt Smith breaks a couple of tackles. Good run by Smith. He's got a first down at the 30, but you see that great balance and leg strength as he broke away from several tacklers.
Oh, that was all Emmitt Smith. Sure, there was some blocking up front on the left side of the screen, but you're going to see some stopping, some starting, some cutting. It's all done by Emmitt Smith, finding these little soft spots, the little cracks and holes in the defense. Look at these different moves he puts down, the stops and the starts.
Smith is beginning to open up. He's carried 7 times for 26 yards. Smith's stats at this point in his career compare very favorably to that of Tony Dorsett, as you see.
Yeah, and Dorsett had a good offensive line to work with, though Smith really hasn't had the offensive line that Dorsett had early on.
And the big back, Ricky Blake, rumbling downfield, and he's all the way in for a touchdown. Blake, who played in the World League of American Football and the Canadian League. They call him Amtrak because he runs like a train. And that was a Metroliner into the end zone. His first carry of the day. And the Cowboys take the lead. Ken Willis to try the point after with Novacek holding. Cowboys offense coming to life in the second quarter. And Ricky Blake, in his first career carry in the National Football League, goes 30 yards for a touchdown.
Well, there's some nice blocking up front. Keep your eye on 46. If Fulcher gets blocked by Johnston, the fullback, a beautiful block on. And right there, number 27, you'll see missing the tackle. Bonnie Bussey's in the game now. Ricky Dixon's out. I don't know whether that's the reason, but this is a terrific run. You say, well, where's the tackling? Where's the defense? Poor defense for the 28th ranked defense in the league, and on this particular play, they look like the 28th ranked defense.
Ricky Blake, who never played college football, he went to Alabama A&M. The coaching staff that recruited him was fired, so he left school. Played with Winnipeg in the Canadian League, put in a full season in the World League of American Football, then went up to Canada for training camp, cut onto the Cowboys, and he is all smiles. There are not many guys who can say that the first time he ever touched the ball in the NFL, he scored a touchdown.
You know, football used to be a seasonal game. Before Ricky Blake, I guess it's a year-round job, huh?
Full-time occupation. Well, the Bengals jumped out to a 10-0 lead, but the Cowboys coming back, and they lead 14-10 as Willis kicks off. Joe King brings it back to the 25-yard line. Coming up at halftime, Will McDonough Green Bay could lose a draft pick obtained from the 49ers if Tim Harris' arrest violates a good conduct clause in his contract. Bill Parcells said if Bo Jackson hadn't gotten hurt, he might have been the best running back ever. And Bills coach Marv Levy says placing Bruce Smith on injured reserve yesterday had nothing to do with the Bills' relatively soft schedule over the next few weeks. All coming up on the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report with Bob, Will, and OJ at halftime. We have another injured Cowboy, James Washington. The strong safety is down.
Well, let's check out this replay at the bottom of the screen. There's 37, bottom right, James Washington, and here's somebody's going to roll into his leg. You see this right here? Oh, look at that right leg there. It gets kind of stuck underneath there. That's one of the dangers. He's up and running off the field. He's going to be all right.
Cowboys have already lost linebacker Ken Norton with an arch injury. He's been taken to the locker room for further examination.
And Smith also, Vincent Smith, the linebacker, is out. So the Cowboys are playing a little bit out of shape at the linebacker position.
Bill Bates, 9-year veteran, has replaced Washington. Harold Green trying to turn the corner and ridden out of bounds by Vincent Smith, who is back in the game.
And so is Norton, the other linebacker, the strong side linebacker that had been injured for the Cowboys.
There's Ken Norton, son of former heavyweight boxing champ Ken Norton Sr., star at UCLA. A lot of these Cowboys are playing new positions defensively. 7 of the 11 starters on defense are either new to the team or are playing new positions. Jack Del Rio moved from a strong side linebacker to the middle. Several others are playing new positions as well. 2nd down and 4. And a big stop by Daniel Stubbs, wrapping up James Brooks in the backfield.
Stubbs beat the block to the inside that time by Reimers, I believe. The Bengals are pulling to get outside here, and there's Stubbs. He just beats 2 blocks that time. He gets ahead of Reimers and gets in there to make the play.
So it'll be 3rd down and 9. Daniel Stubbs out of the University of Miami, acquired in a trade from the 49ers. Green, the lone setback. Brown, Brooks, and McGee all lined up as wide receivers. Stias's pass is complete to Eddie Brown. But where will they spot it?
It's amazing. Eddie Brown, come on, Eddie. Get deep enough to get the first down. He's cutting that too close. They may not have a first down on his play. Eddie Brown pushes the DB back, and then he stops right here. Why not push him another yard or two? Why not make sure you get that first down?
He had to come back a little bit to catch that pass, and he's short of a first down, so the Bengals will have to kick.
You got to know your down and distance. You have to know how much you can get, how much you need to get.
14-10 Dallas with 4.5 remaining. Second quarter. Lee Johnson to punt. Derek Shepard back for the Cowboys. Another good kick by Johnson. Shepard at the 12. And a good run back by Shepard to the 26-yard line. Lynn James on the tackle on the special teams for the Bengals. Well, just because summer is over doesn't mean the volleyball nets have to be put away. Next Saturday, NBC Sports presents great nonstop volleyball action at the Old Spice King of the Beach Invitational, featuring the top-ranked players, including Clark Karai. St. John Smith will compete to find out who is the king of the beach. That's next Saturday at 2:30, and that's really becoming a popular sport.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean,
I guess with your knees, you don't play too much volleyball, right?
No, I never really knew it was that exciting a game, but man, what a following volleyball has built up around the country.
First down for the Cowboys. Emmitt Smith on the carry for Dallas, and now let's check the Dr. Pepper 10-minute ticker. No change in the Redskins-Browns game. Philadelphia trying to upset the unbeaten Saints. Buffalo now leading 21-6 over Indianapolis. Here at Texas Stadium with 3:46 remaining in the second quarter, the Cowboys lead 14-10. The Bengals jumped out to an early 10-0 lead, but the Cowboys coming back on a touchdown run by Troy Aikman and a 30-yard run by rookie Ricky Blake in his first carry in the league. Aikman downfield to Michael Irvin. Irvin out of bounds at the 40 of Cincinnati.
Excellent pass protection by the Cowboys. Irving runs downfield and beats Eric Thomas to the inside. Thomas nursing a bad right knee, but still playing nevertheless. You see how quickly Irving breaks that pattern off and then does what he does best, run with that football after he catches it. The big play man.
First down for the Cowboys at the 40 of Cincinnati. Alfredo Roberts, tight end, 87, checks into the game along with Alvin Harper, who was out last week with a neck injury. From the I formation, Emmitt Smith back to the line of scrimmage and not much more. Hit by Leo Barker, who's starting an inside linebacker in place of Kevin Walker, who injured his knee last week, and veteran nose tackle Tim Crumry helping out.
Yeah, Crumry is tough, boy. Sure, he's not the same player as he used to be. We mentioned earlier, but his attitude is so good the rest of the players feed off it. He keeps them enthused at practice, fires them up at practice, which is very important. You know, a lot of people say, why can't these teams emotionally get up for a game just once a week? I mean, how tough can that possibly be? But over a 16, 20-week season, folks, somehow these ball players, myself included when I played, you sit around before a game sometime and you yawn and you wonder why yourself you're not fired up.
Aikman under pressure gets it away to Emmitt Smith. Close to a first down at the 31. Aikman did a good job showing a lot of poise getting that pass away.
We're talking about Tim Crumry earlier. You'll see no quit in this guy. He's going to be blocked short. This is excellent pass protection by Stepanowski and his mates. Look, 3 different guys get on Crit, and Crumry's still going at him. I like that attitude.
Like a caged Bengal tiger. The late Paul Brown said Crumry is one of the few players who could have started for his old Cleveland Browns team. He said he reminds you of Bob Gain, a great defensive tackle for the Browns. Mel Proctor with Joe Namath back at Texas Stadium. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. The Cowboys leading 14-10. Third down and 1 for the Cowboys at the Cincinnati 31. Alfredo Roberts in at tight end along with Novacek as they go to the double tight end alignment. Smith and Johnston are the running backs out of the I formation. It looked like the left tackle for the Cowboys may have moved early. That's the 300-pound rookie, Eric Williams, who's in there.
Yeah, unless contact was made by the defense that moved off into that neutral zone.
Bernie Kukar and his crew conversing.
Encroachment, number 96 on the defense.
Against the defense, Natu Tuatagaloa.
Well, let's check it out. Number 96. We don't see him on this side of the screen. He's, I believe, there. He's on the bottom, the very bottom. Here, this is going to give you a good shot. You see, make some contact in there. When that contact was made, it was all on the Bengals. Otherwise, that would have been called on Eric Williams.
What's his name?
Which one? Tuatagaloa? Just because you live in Hawaii, these names come easier with you. You know, I'm still learning these names.
I had to see if he'd get it right. You passed the flying colors. Aikman to Novacek. He is in for a touchdown. Novacek, who had 11 catches last week against Green Bay. Jimmy Johnson said he's really a big wide receiver playing tight end.
Well, he beats Ricky Dixon to the inside, and there's no one in there to help out. No one deep. Novacek, you're not going to keep this guy quiet all day. They're going to throw that ball to him because they know he has good hands, and he's a wily receiver. He knows how to get open.
He entered the game leading the NFC in receiving. And the Cowboys have really opened it up in the second quarter after Cincinnati scored 10 quick points. Dan Willis' kick is perfect. So with a minute 55 remaining in the first half, it's now 21-10, Dallas. Jay Novacek, the pride of Gothenburg, Nebraska. Population 3,500. He said they don't even have a stoplight there, but the University of Nebraska said, we'll take you as a walk-on, but no scholarship. So he went to the University of Wyoming, where he competed in the decathlon, and now the leading receiver in the NFC, just putting the Cowboys up 21-10.
On the right side of the screen, he'll beat Dixon to the inside, make the catch and take it home. He's just a sharp receiver. He knows how to fight. You know what? We were talking yesterday about the possibilities Cowboys making the playoffs, which they fully plan on doing. That's what their goal is. And Novacek told us about his mother collecting aluminum cans to try and get enough money for the plane ticket to the Super Bowl.
That's right. His mom, June, collects aluminum cans, redeems them for cash. He said if she doesn't come up with enough money, I'll have to help her out, though.
Yeah, as much as they'll let him, he will help out, folks.
Ball fumbled away by Joe King, trying to bring it back, and stopped at the 2-yard line. Big mistake by the Bengals.
He's a rookie. The rookie made a big mistake. He didn't have to run that ball out. He got confused possibly, but when he lost the handle on it, even though it's out here in the field, you don't have to return it to the field of play. He could settle down right now back there in the end zone. But I can't help but thinking because he's a rookie, he just lost his cool a little bit, or maybe didn't know the rule. I think he's being told now what the situation of the rule is, and he really did not have to bring that ball out. He put Cincinnati's offense in an awful field position.
At the 1-yard line. Boomer trying to pass to get it out under pressure, completes to Tim McGee, breaks the tackle. And a big play for the Bengals to get them out of the hole as McGee is out of bounds at the 21. Minute 41 left in the second period.
Nice pass protection for Esiason. Puts the money out, or puts the ball out in front of McGee, which is a tough pass to throw accurately when a receiver's running right across your face. And McGee was only covered by a linebacker that time and just outran him.
McGee breaking the tackle of Jack Del Rio at about the 5-yard line. First down for the Bengals at the 20. Darrell Green is the single setback. Esiason pass caught by Eddie Brown, giving ground. See where they marked his forward progress. James Washington was shaken up earlier, back in to make the tackle. Eddie Brown's heading the wrong direction today, isn't he, Joe?
Well, he sure was on his last play. You see 81 in motion. He's going to catch the ball short, and then in trying to elude the defender, he's going to back up a bit.
I don't think they're going to give him a lot of forward progress because he backed up himself there that first couple of yards.
They spot the ball at the 25, so it'll be 2nd down and 6. Eddie Brown, who played for Jimmy Johnson at the University of Miami, and Jimmy said he coached a lot of talented receivers, but he may be the best of them all. And Michael Irvin, who came along a little later, said he emulated Brown when he was playing at Miami. But Eddie doesn't have a touchdown reception this year.
That's pretty amazing in itself. Right now, I'd look for this Dallas Cowboy defense to play a little tighter than they did against Green Bay last week. You Cowboy fans recall when Green Bay went into that hurry-up offense, they drove right down the field to score that touchdown in maybe a minute and a half or two. So I'd look for Dallas to play a little tighter.
Lynn James in motion. Esiason to McGee for 1st down and more. Brought down at the 43-yard line by Bill Bates.
I like the way Esiason called those 2 timeouts. Didn't waste any seconds at all. They can stop the clock without a bounds plays. Here at the bottom of your screen, Isaac Holt 30 is covering McGee, but look how much cushion he's given him. My goodness. First rule right now for the defensive back is don't allow yourself to be beaten deep. And I'm sure that's what Isaac Holt is thinking.
A gain of 17 on the play.
You see, the offensive team has some things against them right now. Sure, they have the ball and they can score, but they have to drive another 55, 57 yards in very little time, a minute and 25, which is not that short a time, but it's tough. And they have to drive without stopping themselves. The defense figures if we don't give up the big play, hey, look at this gang right here, huh? Bunch of smiling faces coming up at halftime, folks. If Dallas doesn't stop, doesn't give up the big play, they figure Cincinnati will hurt themselves with a holding penalty with a dropped ball, something of that nature.
Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report coming up. 1st down for the Bengals, minute 25 left in the half. The blitz is on, Boomer gets it away, it's incomplete. That was Robert Williams, the nickelback, coming on a blitz.
Yeah, that caused Boomer to go off target that time because McGee was open, running across the field, and Boomer just released the ball a little bit lower. He missed his target.
Boomer Esiason has completed 12 of 19 passes for 118 yards in the 1st half.
I tell you, this momentum is very important, folks. Cincinnati needs to have some momentum going in at halftime. If the Cowboys maintain the momentum they've had this half, I think you're going to see the Cowboys more or less take it the 2nd half. Cincinnati has to get something on this drive.
Esiason's pass is caught by Eddie Brown, and he has a 1st down. Robert Williams on the tackle for the Cowboys. Bengals lining up without a huddle. Boomer in trouble, gets it away, but it's going to be a sack. Tony Casillas had Esiason.
Well, it's an incomplete pass. Oh, no, they're calling it a sack. That's right. Clock is running.
And no play.
Well, they're going to call a penalty. I don't think Cincinnati was set when the ball was snapped. Of course, I don't see any flags out there either.
What could it be then?
I think they forgot to throw a flag. Again, I didn't see Cincinnati set entirely. It looked like the left side of their offensive line may have been moving just a bit before the snap.
They went with a quick snap trying to catch the Cowboys off guard.
We had a charge timeout called against Dallas prior to the snap.
You got to be
Charge
kidding.
timeout, Dallas.
Well, okay, a big break for Sam White and his Bengals.
Sam isn't buying it.
Well, Sam better buy it because that's a good break for Cincinnati, having Dallas stop the clock and not losing that last play.
Looks like he was upset though. He calls Boomer over to talk. It'll be 2nd down and 17 with 48 seconds to go.
51 seconds.
They'll put 3 seconds back on the clock, so it'll read 51 seconds.
Dallas, only thing I can figure is they didn't have all their personnel in there. They didn't have the people in there they wanted, because you certainly don't want to stop the clock for a team that has the ball and needs to drive. What do you think Jimmy Johnson's
He's saying we didn't call a timeout.
Who called it? Well,
Horton
Bates,
call?
number 40 appeared to be calling, and also Casillas appeared to be calling a timeout. Horton may have even got across the line before the snap that time.
See Horton right there signaling for a timeout. The Cowboys have 2 left. The Bengals have 1 remaining. 51 seconds left in the half. Second down, 17. Brown trying to hold on and does, but again, giving ground with a juggling catch.
Oh, a classic example of taking your eyes off the ball, turning your head, looking upfield before you had that ball secure in your hand. I'm surprised to see a receiver of Eddie Brown's caliber make that kind of error.
Bengals still have 1 timeout left. 3rd and 15. High snap. And a penalty marker down. Apparently didn't get the play away in time.
Well, I guess it depends on whose side you're on, folks at home, but this series has been ugly for the Cincinnati Bengals and getting uglier. The Dallas Cowboys have done a good job that last time out. You know, when you're in doubt, go ahead and call timeout. And Dallas did the right thing. Apparently it's going to work out that way.
A false start by the right tackle, Joe Walter. So it'll be 3rd down and 20 with 20 seconds left.
Remember now, Cincinnati could use 2 plays here. If they on 4th down, they could go for the 1st down, even if they're not in field goal range, given enough time.
Eric Caddis in motion. They stay on the ground to Harold Green. Conservative call. And brought down to 41. Kenneth Gant makes the tackle for the Cowboys. And it'll be 4th down, and the Bengals will take a timeout. Their last timeout. Pickup of 17 yards in that run by Harold Green.
Well, you have 11 seconds left here. 4th down, you either go to the end zone with the ball because there aren't any timeouts, or you try to hit something on the sidelines and set up your field goal attempt. Sam Weiss knows he can't complete a pass in the middle of the field short because the clock's going to run out on him. It has to be a touchdown or something out of bounds.
They are not yet in Jim Breach's range. His longest field goal this year, a 46-yarder. 11 seconds remaining in the first half. It's 21-10 Cowboys. Looks like they're discussing maybe lofting a pass into the end zone, batting it with receivers.
That's a possibility, or I'll send a couple of receivers down to that end zone and somebody about 10 yards short or 15 yards shorter in the sideline area be able to complete the out maybe in 6 or 7 seconds deep, and you still have some short change on the clock to go for the field goal.
They have McGee, Brooks, Brown, Caddis, and Holman, 2 tight ends in the game, with Caddis lined up on a slot right. Boomer fires across the field, and it's incomplete. And intended for Tim McGee. Good coverage by Larry Brown, a 12th round draft pick who's been playing exceptional football lately.
Good coverage by Larry Brown, but there was good coverage by Isaac Holt. That's the reason that Esiason had to go over here to McGee. You see Brown in excellent position right here to make the play. McGee nearly comes up with a circus catch, but again, that would have been inbounds and the clock would have run out had he caught the ball.
So the Cowboys take over on downs with 4 seconds left in the first half. Game had a promising beginning as far as the Bengals are concerned, jumping out to a 10-0 lead, but the Cowboys got their offense rolling in the second half. Aikman with a touchdown run, Ricky Blake in his first NFL carry going 30 yards for a touchdown, and then Aikman hitting Jay Novacek for a touchdown.
Well, I'd like to see him go deep here. I don't know why they wouldn't want to try a long out, but they run out the clock and take that 11-point lead.
So really 2 different games in the first half. It was all Cincinnati in the first quarter. Dallas dominated the second period. So it's 21-10 Cowboys at the end of the first half from sold-out Texas Stadium. Let's go to New York and Bob Costas. I'm at Texas Stadium with the Dallas Cowboys coming from behind to take a 21-10 lead over the Cincinnati Bengals. Hello again, Mel Proctor along with Joe Namath. And Joe, the Bengals were victimized by the big play, a 53-yard pass to Alexander Wright, which set up a touchdown. A 26-yard pass play from Troy Aikman to Jay Novacek for a touchdown, and a 30-yard run by Ricky Blake at his first carry in the NFL, another touchdown.
That's right. You know, the Bengals defense ranked 28th in the league, has had their problems this season. And other than those big plays, they've played fairly well. What I think, though, what's hurt the Bengals is Boomer Esiason's just a bit off with his passing. His offensive line's been terrific today, giving Boomer plenty of time to choose where to go. The ball's been behind a little bit, whatever. Eddie Brown's run a couple of patterns that are questionable, and Dallas made a fine comeback.
And a good kickoff by Lee Johnson of the Bengals to start the second half.
Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler bring you this NFL Game of the Month. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered.
I look at the halftime stats. Things evened up pretty much in the second quarter. The Bengals dominated the first quarter, but Dallas took over in the second period. The stats about even, but what it reflects is that it was all Cincinnati in the first period and all Dallas in the second. First down for the Cowboys. Emmitt Smith stacked up near the line of scrimmage. He lost the shoe.
You see him, Tui Tagovailoa.
Very good.
So quick and fast, he jumped right out of his shoes that time, folks. Good stalemate by the Bengal defensive line up there.
Now, you got Tua Tagovailoa right. Can you say Tuiasosopo?
Tuiasosopo, of course.
What about Tutupu?
Tutupu, I don't mind saying all of them.
What about
Manama
Leoga?
Yeah, well, he's not playing today.
So Tua Tagovailoa threw a shoe. That's unfair. I shouldn't pick on you like that.
I know. You lived in Hawaii for 5 years. Nice throw by Aikman.
Aikman to Michael Irvin for a first down at the 36-yard line.
Time once again for Troy Aikman to get it downfield, afforded by his offensive line. Look up front. Stepanowski's, I'll tell you what, though, Weingrad got beaten by Grant to the inside rather quickly, but that was a short drop and a quick release, that time by Aikman that made the big gainer.
Aikman has completed 8 of 11 passes so far. Michael Irvin having a big year, tied for second in the NFC in receiving coming into this game, and has now passed his previous career high in receptions. Tommy Agee, number 34, is in the backfield for the Cowboys, along with Emmitt Smith. Aikman starting to open it up. Incomplete, intended for Kmart, Kelvin Martin, and Kmart closed early. Good hit by Eric Thomas.
Yes, Eric Thomas made that play. Aikman went to the right area. Eric Thomas had one-on-one coverage to the right side of your screen. You see Aikman shopping around. Now he goes over here where it's single coverage, throws a good pass. What's Thomas? Yeah, well, I see Eric's a little bit happy right now, but they're on the short end of that scoreboard. You guys got to get some points before you can start that flaunting business.
I don't think Eric was saying, attention Kmart shoppers. Emmitt Smith brought down at the 37-yard line by Carl Zander, a 7-year veteran from Tennessee.
Yeah, but David Grant made that play. David Grant, the defensive lineman for the Bengals, got good penetration once again. He did a couple of plays earlier. Emmitt Smith, surely, he avoided David Grant, but David Grant's penetration enabled the other guys to make the tackle.
Smith with 11 carries for 33 yards. He's been held in check so far. The nickel package in for the Bengals with Richard Fain. Ricky Dixon coming back in. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Can you imagine having 21 points with Emmitt Smith only gaining 33 yards?
In the big play, as we mentioned, has killed the Bengals so far. And Troy Aikman in trouble. David Grant trying to pin him down and finally gets help from Tim Crumry. And a scuffle breaks out. Crumry getting into it with 2 of the big Cowboy linemen. The big guy, Nate Newton, getting leveled, getting up. 332-pounder, trying to square off with Grant.
What appeared to be a late shot by Crumry was not a late shot. That whistle had not been blown, and the quarterback is still allowed to try to avoid one man. Here you'll see Aikman get under the grasp of Grant, but Aikman still has the ability to shake him loose and maybe make the play. Now there's Crumry, no whistles blown. I mean, to me, that was just a lot of hustle. I don't blame the Cowboys for being upset one bit, but you cannot fault Cumry for continuing on since the whistle wasn't blown.
Mike Barber awaiting Mike Saxon's kick. A year ago, that would have been a sack. With the rule change, it was not. Initially, good kick by Saxon. Barber trying to bring it back. Good coverage downfield by the Cowboys. Kenneth Gant making the tackle on the special team. A 53-yard kick by Mike Saxon. And it's still 21-10 Cowboys. First down for the Cincinnati Bengals at the 24-yard line. Dallas leading 21-10. James Brooks and Harold Green are the running backs, and it's Green following Brooks. Breaks the tackle of Jim Jeffcoat. Now trying to cut back. Boomer attempting to block for him. He's got some running room if he can get outside. On a broken play, Green for a touchdown, 75 yards.
Unbelievable, the run. I mean, it's good penetration by the Cowboys, and Green reverses field, takes it all the way. It stunned this house. It stunned Jimmy Johnson and his defense.
That one wasn't out of the playbook, but Sam Weiss will take it.
Well, Sam's got a big playbook. I don't know.
It was on the back pages. It was. I don't think it was drawn up that way.
Tell you what, this play, you may look back at this play in a few games from now and say Harold Green turned things around. Remains to be seen, but that was some run.
And it's 21-16 Cowboys. Jim Breed's conversion is good. The Bengals strike first to open the second half. And it's 21-17 Dallas. Green getting some oxygen after that 75-yard run.
On the left side of the screen, Jim Jeffcoat gets across there, plays off of blocks, does a good job of making Green get nowhere. Now Green's coming back. All the pursuit of the Cowboys came over there, which, you know, they want to go to the ball, and Green just makes a good cutback and gets a great block from Eddie Brown. Eddie Brown sprung Green with that last block, and here Brown shields off Isaac Holt. Not the way you draw it up on the blackboard, however, it worked better this time than I imagine they had any idea the play could work. Jeffcoat's excellent effort just couldn't get the handle on Green, and even better effort by Green gets the 6 points.
And that run was the longest against the Cowboys this year, a 75-yarder. Green has now carried 8 times for 105 yards. Second year back from South Carolina, take on the second round a year ago. The second all-time leading rusher in South Carolina history. George Rogers, number 1. But a well-deserved blow for Harold Green.
You know, we've been playing this game without any turnovers, Mel. That's kind of strange for these two teams, especially the Bengals. They've had a lot of turnovers, not one this game, and Harold Green turns in this spectacular run to make the game tight now.
Besides Emmitt Smith for the longest run in the NFL this year. Smith had a 75-yarder. Lee Johnson's kickoff taken by James Dixon, who's yet to break a big one. He's second in the NFC, and he slips, and he'll be brought down inside the 15-yard line.
Oh, excellent kick. Excellent kick that time, and great coverage by the Bengals.
Bengals have to be pleased with their kicking game. Johnson with good kickoffs, and he has 3 punts of 53 yards. Breach has hit his only field goal attempt. 21-17 Cowboys. Dallas will begin this drive from their 14. 11:49 remaining in the third quarter. Michael Irvin spits wide to the right. Alexander Wright, who had that 53-yard catch in the first half, is wide left. Agee and Smith are the running backs. Emmitt Smith out to the 19-yard line. A gain of 6. James Francis makes the stop for the Bengals.
Good play by Emmitt Smith getting up there, making 6 yards. Cowboys to take that every time. I want to see, the last series we had, David Grant figured in real big, getting penetration, beating Vinograd a few times. And that's the position that I think the Cowboys are worried about right now. Their left tackle position is being beaten by Grant, so they're running the ball to the right side. I'd be surprised to see him try to attack Grant on the left side.
Alfredo Roberts and Kelvin Martin are back in the game for Dallas. Jay Novacek in motion. And the pass batted down and picked off by Alonzo Mitts. So a break for the Bengals as that pass was deflected, and Alonzo got his mitts on it.
Yeah, that's good. Alonzo got his mitts on it. No pun intended, I'm sure. A big break. I'll tell you what, that break was created by Sam Weiss's defense. That was smart. Good play by the Bengals. One of the Bengals gets his hands up in front of the ball to be able to break this pass up. Right there on the right side of your screen, Carl Zander gets in there and breaks it up. And then here's Mitts with the good mitts running the ball back. What a turnaround.
First and goal for the Bengals as they try to take the lead. The first turnover of the game. Brooks down to the 3-yard line. Tackle made by Vincent Smith of the Cowboys.
Well, I'll tell you, this offensive line of the Bengals has been blocking Jimmy Johnson's defensive front all day long. I think Sam Weiss has had some problems with the accuracy of Boomer early on, maybe with the pass patterns by Barber, breaking it off the one time, and Eddie Brown running a little short. But right now, Cincinnati's right back in this hunt.
Second and goal to go at the 3-yard line. Eric Caddis checks in as they go with 2 tight ends. The receivers are Brown and McGee. Green, the lone setback. Harold Green trying to push it in. Down to the 1-yard line.
Well, I'll be darned if I wouldn't run right behind my main man, Anthony Munoz. I don't know why you want to go up the right center of this thing. Munoz and Reimers on that left side have been opening holes up for Sam Weiss. And, boy, I'd sure enough go to number 78 there. He's the best blocker on the team. I mean, that wasn't a block there for sure, but that wasn't the reason that play failed.
It was Craig Taylor on the carry down to the 1-yard line. So it'll be third down, goal to go at the 1-yard line. Brooks and Taylor, the running backs. Munoz is a tackle eligible on this play. Esiason into the end zone. Incomplete. He was juggling the ball. James Brooks unable to haul it in for a touchdown. And that'll bring up 4th down.
That was excellent defense by the Cowboys. Initially, they threw Brooks off. Sam Weiss very upset. He knows Brooks could have had it. On the right side of your screen, you see Brooks. Well, maybe you won't see him get bumped. But Boomer Esiason does a great job of getting this ball out there on target, under pressure, and this is what they call a drop pass. So that's another dropped ball coming back to haunt this Bengal offense. That should have been touchdown.
Like a bad dream, a nightmare as far as the Bengals are concerned. They've seen so many drop passes in crucial situations. Jim Breach in to try a 19-yard field goal attempt. He hit one in the first half. This would still leave the Bengals a point short, though. And a penalty marker down.
That's too much time.
5-yard penalty.
Another mistake.
Yeah, but that's not going to hurt here. This was just a chip shot for Breach. It's better to be safe and sure than not have enough men on the field. There was no need really to snap that ball. 5-yard penalty doesn't hurt here. Someone's going on the field without a headgear now.
That's Eric Wilhelm, the backup quarterback.
Eric, you got to wear your helmet if you're going to play. Yes, that's right. I don't know what message he delivered, but he did deliver a message without his headgear. I just had a feeling he wasn't going to do anything on the field.
Now a 24-yard attempt by Breach, and it's good. Well, the Bengals dominating play in the third quarter, but the Cowboys holding on to the lead. It's 21-20 Dallas with 9:22 remaining third quarter.
He looked scarier 25 years ago.
Did I?
The Bengals have scored 10 unanswered points in the third quarter to cut the Cowboys' lead to 1 as Lee Johnson kicks off for Cincinnati. A good deep kick. And no run back. Johnson has had a tremendous day.
Well, there was some discussion over on the sideline during the commercial. Anthony Munoz feels like something went on out there that I'm going to talk to the officials about. I was a bit surprised that the Bengals didn't run that ball behind Munoz on his side as well as he's been blocking. Well, Munoz is an eligible receiver right here, but he is in blocking, and I still don't know what he'd be complaining about on that play.
First down for the Cowboys at the 20. Emmitt Smith roars up the middle, out to the 31-yard line, and a first down.
Big play for the Cowboys. I say the Cowboys did a terrific job holding the Bengals to just 3 points that last time. You know, with that turnover of the interception in that kind of territory, they had their backs to the wall, and they held the Bengals to 3. Smith just broke a nice run up the middle now for first down.
First down at the 32-yard line. Emmitt Smith has carried 13 times for 50 yards. The Cowboys are 6-1 when he gains 100 yards or more. They're 8-0 when he carries more than 20 times. And they go to Smith again. Had trouble really getting a track for the most part today. That run just a moment ago was his biggest. But they normally win when he carries the football.
Well, you know what I'd do? I believe I'd give him the ball 20 times, at least. You know, I mean, if this is the kind of stat you have, 6-1 when he rushes for more than 100, well, you know, if he carries it 20 times and they win, what difference does it make how many yards he gets?
Carried 15 times total this afternoon. Last week against Green Bay, a career-high 32 carries.
You folks at home know that that stat doesn't tell the whole story, man. Otherwise, he would get the ball 20 times every game.
We would need Paul Harvey for the rest of the story. Timeout taken by the Cowboys. So with 7:56 remaining in the third quarter, Troy Aikman will talk things over with Jimmy Johnson. Mel Proctor with Joe Namath back at Texas Stadium with 7:56 remaining in the third quarter. The Cowboys with a second down and 7. Emmitt Smith and Tommy Agee are the running backs. Troy Aikman under pressure steps up and gets it away to Emmitt Smith. He breaks a tackle and he's got a first down. Again, that's the strength of Emmitt Smith. Marty Bussey finally chased him out of bounds.
Smith just catching the pass underneath the linebacker coverage. Xander drops back there. Barker drops back, and Smith will just sneak out of the backfield, catch the little short pass. Now he's going to get a good block over here from Novacek, I believe, late, and enables him to get outside and make the first down.
First down for the Cowboys at the Dallas 43. Alexander Wright, Michael Irvin are the wide receivers. Smith following Tommy Agee. Brought down at the 44-yard line. And now let's check the Hertz 10-minute ticker. The Redskins leading by 4 over the Browns. New Orleans overcoming a 6-0 deficit to take the lead against the Eagles in the third quarter. Buffalo winning big over the Colts, and Minnesota blanking the Cardinals so far.
Well, Cleveland must be playing a good game. You know, they don't have that good a team this year, and Washington is excellent. To be playing Washington that tight at home, Cleveland must be doing a good job.
Second down, 8 for the Cowboys. Jimmy Johnson talks about the development of Troy Aikman, how he'll throw the ball away if he has to rather than take a sack. He doesn't make mistakes, much more poised and confident than he was in his first 2 years. Aikman to Smith, who makes a nifty catch. Oh, what a move by Emmitt Smith. Brought down to 47. Little swivel hips. Alfred Williams made the tackle.
Now look, these yards may not seem important, folks, but right here, he should be tackled. He could have been tackled there, but watch Smith fight forward, get another 2 or 3 yards. That makes this third down play coming up more makeable. Alonzo Mitz is down on the field right now with an injury.
Mitz, who intercepted a pass earlier in the quarter to set up a field goal. 278-pound, 5-year veteran from Florida who was acquired from the 49ers.
Oh, that reminds me, Florida, boy, they played a good game last night and beat Tennessee. Let's listen to this update from back at NFL Live.
Joe Namath throwing that as crisply as any pass to Don Maynard. Here's Frank Reich hooking up with James Lofton for the touchdown. Reich in the second half since Jim Kelly was knocked woozy toward the end of the first. Every time Buffalo's had the ball, they have driven for a touchdown against the hapless Colts. 35-6.
All I thank you, Bob. I was waiting for Joe to catch it, but he didn't.
No, that was good,
throw.
Bob. Thanks.
Good
You know,
throw.
it brings back some memories. We're down here in Texas. You mentioned Don Maynard and George Sauer. I remember we had some great receivers from Texas.
3rd down and 6 for the Bengals. Mitch appears to be all right. The Bengals have converted, or the Cowboys converted no 3rd down attempts. On 3 occasions, intercepted by David Fulcher. And he's out of bounds at the 30-yard line. The pass was intended for Michael Irvin, but Fulcher stepped in front and intercepted his 2nd interception of the year.
Boy, I tell you, Fulcher just read this play all the way. Fulcher was able to play deep enough and then break on the ball. There's a little pressure on Aikman in there. Aikman's looking all the way where he wants to throw it. And folks, if you don't think there's anything to a defensive back reading the quarterback's eyes, you're wrong. When they see that quarterback look, they're going to break on the ball. That time, Fulcher saw Aikman look to his left all the way and broke on it just right.
Rather ironic, the Bengals are tied for the league lead in turnovers, have none, while the Cowboys have turned the ball over twice. 2 interceptions. 1st down at the 33. Harold Green is the running back. Boomer going deep. Eddie Brown was there, but it was almost intercepted by Larry Brown. Pass a little bit underthrown.
Way late too, Mel. Boomer should have had that ball out there earlier. He was looking to his right first and then came down the middle of the field, and Larry Brown was able to react to it. You see Boomer looking back to his right. He wants to go there. That's why the ball's late getting down there to Eddie Brown. But gee whiz, that's a terrible place to throw the ball late. You see the free safety almost makes the play, and then Larry Brown certainly should have made the interception.
Larry Brown, the first 12th round draft pick ever to start as a rookie for the Dallas Cowboys, reminds many people of former Cowboy Everson Walls.
Oh, he was a player. They let him get away too soon.
Green drives down to the 26-yard line. Tackle made by the strong safety James Washington. 5:39 remaining, 3rd quarter. Dallas leading 21-20. Harold Green has had a big day, including a 75-yard touchdown run.
And that last play was a good play by Green. I mean, they picked up about 6 yards, and so they make this a 3rd down and very makeable situation.
3rd down and 3. Green and Tim McGee split wide right. Brown is wide left. Boomer's pass incomplete, intended for James Brooks, but there's a flag on the play.
Oh, I don't know. The Bengals are going to get a break here. Esiason wanted to go to Brooks all the way that time. Had 2 men standing around James Brooks, but one appeared to hook James Brooks in the back.
Interference against the Cowboys.
Yeah, but it wasn't a lot of interference. On the left side of the screen.
Interference. 1st down.
Left side of the
Dallas leading 21-20. Harold Green has had a big day, including a 75-yard touchdown run.
And that last play was a good play by Green. I mean, they picked up about 6 yards, and so they make this a 3rd down and very makeable situation.
3rd down and 3. Green and Tim McGee split wide right. Brown is wide left. Boomer's pass incomplete, intended for James Brooks, but there's a flag on the play.
Oh, I don't know. The Bengals are going to get a break here. Esiason wanted to go to Brooks all the way that time. Had 2 men standing around James Brooks, but one appeared to hook James Brooks in the back.
Interference against the Cowboys.
Yeah, but it wasn't a lot of interference. On the left side of the screen.
Interference. 1st down.
Left side of the screen. You may be able to see the interference here. Well,
Jack Del Rio.
Tell you what, that looked like a good defensive play to me. I heard our producer Larry Sorella say he's all over him. Well, Jack Del Rio, that looked like pretty good defense.
1st down for the Bengals at the 20 as they try to take the lead. Brown to the right, McGee to the left. Green through a big hole. Down to the 13-yard line. A tackle made by Dixon Edwards, rookie linebacker from Michigan State.
Good first down gainer once again. Green had the big second down gainer the last time to put him in a third and short. This time he reels off 6 or 7.
Bengals today rushing for 162 yards against the Dallas defense that has been stingy so far this year, allowing an average of only 84.7 yards per game. Second down 3. Green tripped up. Good second effort. Gets him inside the 10. And he's got a first down.
Well, you know, talking to Dave Wannstedt, the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, he told us that he did not want to allow Cincinnati to have the big gainer, the big play. So they are playing a little softer with their safeties in the secondary, and that may be the reason Jimmy Johnson's defense is giving up more yards on the ground than they're used to giving up. They set out this season, being in the division they're in with the Giants and the Redskins, to stop the running game with the Philadelphia Eagles, and they've done that quite well. They've given up the long plays. For this game, they decide not to give up the long plays, and I think it's hurting their rushing defense.
Greg Taylor and James Brooks in the backfield for Cincinnati. First and goal at the 9. Brooks maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage. Dixon Edwards was the first man to hit him.
Cowboys defense being asked to tighten up once again. Sam Weiss knows these are golden opportunities that his offense is getting. These 2 turnovers. He wants to get a touchdown this time. Certainly not a field goal. Cowboy defense did a good job of holding the Bengals to a field goal the last time, and there's the brain thrust up there of the Cowboy defense.
Second and goal to go at the 9-yard line. Taylor looking for a hole, spins inside the 10 to the 8, where he's met by Jack Del Rio and Dixon Edwards.
Well, I'll tell you, Coach Weiss must have seen something that he thought he could attack with the running game, but these last 2 runs the Bengals stuck in there were just shut down by that Dallas Cowboy front. I've got to believe they got to put the ball in the air this time, go to the side that they have single coverage and try to work Rodney Holman loose in the middle of that defense.
Third down goal to go at the 7-yard line. Brown is wide left, McGee to the right. 2 tight ends in the game with Caddis and Holman, and Taylor the lone running back. Boomer's pass is incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Good defense by the Cowboys on Sam Weiss's offense. Good defense. Took away all the receivers, and Boomer just threw the ball out of bounds.
So Jim Breach comes on to try to give the Bengals the lead. Breach, who has hit 2 previous field goals of 45 and 24 yards.
Breach just, I don't know, I guess he couldn't decide which color shoes to wear today. I know he always wears that black kicking shoe. Why wouldn't he get a black left shoe?
And Breach gives the Bengals the lead. Well, the Bengals unable to get a touchdown, but a 26-yard field goal by Jim Breach has the Bengals on top by 2. KC Sports would like to extend our condolences to the family of longtime NFL referee Gene Barth, who passed away Friday after a lengthy illness. He had a distinguished 21-year career in the NFL, including working Super Bowl 18, and our deepest condolences to Gene's family. Funeral services will be held on Wednesday. Mel Proctor with Joe Namath back at Texas Stadium. 2:02 remaining third quarter as Lee Johnson kicks off to James Dixon. Shortest kick of the day for Johnson, and Dixon brings it back out to the 25.
A good tackle by Vincent that time. Vincent saved a big gainer here. Washington back on the board with another score.
The Hertz 10-minute ticker. New Orleans overcoming an early lead by the Eagles. Buffalo opening it up 42-6 over the Colts.
I heard
still unable to score.
I heard Bob Costa say Buffalo scored every time they had the ball in that first half. Boy, that had some kind of high-powered out offense by Jim Kelly and those Buffalo Bills.
Just the way you used to do it with the Jets, right?
I wish.
Ricky Blake That's only his second carry of the day. His first went for a 30-yard touchdown. His first carry in the NFL.
Yeah, but
David Fulcher on the stop.
Fulcher's played a good game. He played a good game last week. David Fulcher's had somewhat of an off season like the rest of these Bengals have had, but you couldn't tell it by last week's play, and certainly today Fulcher's all over the field.
Loss of 3 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 13. The big backs in there. Blake, a 244-pounder, and Darrell Johnston, a 236-pounder. Troy Aikman, the throw underneath, complete to Darrell Johnston. And he's got a first down. Again, Fulcher on the tackle. Johnston, an excellent receiver coming out of the backfield.
Good selection certainly by Troy Aikman, who gets a little bit of pressure here, but watch Johnson underneath. Now Johnson's going to break a tackle. Right there, Xander should make that tackle. That's what the Cincinnati defensive people, coaches go nuts over. They had a man in position to make the tackle, but give credit right there to that man for breaking the tackle, catching the ball, making the big first down.
Darrell Johnston in his 3rd year out of Syracuse. 2nd-round pick in 1989. First down for the Cowboys. Aikman downfield, complete to Michael Irvin. Eric Thomas trying to catch him. And he's out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Big play, man, on Eric Thomas. Gets inside of him, then loses Thomas. You see Thomas get mixed up, and there's no help beneath or behind Thomas. Where was Bussey? Thomas surely felt he had help on the deep side, but it didn't get there in time.
1st and goal for the Cowboys at the 2-yard line. 17 seconds left in the quarter. 5 receptions for 139 yards for Michael Irvin. Cowboys will be unable to get off a play as the 3rd quarter comes to an end, but they're just a couple of yards away from a touchdown and regaining the lead.
Monday.
We start the 4th quarter at Texas Stadium with the Bengals ahead 23-21. The Bengals trying to win their first game of the year. They are 0-5. The Cowboys are attempting to win their 4th straight. And a 2nd down goal to go at the 2-yard line. Emmett Smith in the backfield along with Darrell Johnston. 2 tight ends. Jay Novacek is in motion. Smith over the top. Touchdown. Emmett Smith with his 5th rushing touchdown of the season.
Boy, he gets airborne here, and he doesn't get wrapped up when he gets hit. A good lick by the defender from Cincinnati, but they don't wrap him up. And you see this amazing balance that Emmitt Smith has, and he's able to get his way into the end zone.
Looked like he jumped into his teammate, Eric Williams, who straightened him up. Ken Willis in to try the point after. Perfect. Turning into a shootout. Back and forth we go, and the Cowboys are back on top, 28-23.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering. By Liberty Mutual. We're our customers' advocate at Liberty Mutual because we understand the costs involved. By Alcoa, reminding you to recycle your aluminum beverage and food cans. And by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor orders.
The Cowboys ready to kick off, and the Bengals have James Brooks back to run back this kick along with Lynn James. Joe King, who made the mistake earlier, replaced by Brooks, and he brings it out across the 20, 30. Good run back by Brooks to the 40-yard line. The kicker, Ken Willis, made the tackle. 35-yard run back by Brooks.
Well, the big change here is those bottom figures, the turnovers. That's what got Cincinnati back in here in the second half. And then don't you know the Cowboys come right back with the big gain to Irving and another touchdown. The time of possession certainly has evened out, but the Cowboys have the edge in yardage, total yardage, that they were far from in that first quarter.
Cowboys leading 28-23. First down for the Bengals at the 39-yard line. Brooks in the backfield. Green, McGee, and Brown, the wideouts. Esiason to Brooks. The blocker ahead of him. And he's driven out of bounds. Coming up next on most of these NBC stations, Game 2 of our doubleheader. Most of you will see Warren Moon and the Oilers take on the Jets. And others will see the Dolphins and the Chiefs in a rematch of last year's exciting playoff game.
You know, the Jets beat Houston last year, I believe, down in Houston, if I'm not mistaken. It was quite a win for the Jets. Now, this Houston's awful high-powered. I wouldn't expect the Jets to keep those guys quiet all day. It should be a big game, exciting game.
Second down 4 for the Cincinnati Bengals. Harold Green stacked up at the 46 by first-round draft pick Russell Maryland, number 67.
Colbert's in there also at the bottom of that pile. Maryland would be playing more, except the Cowboys got Casillas this year, and that's helped out tremendously on the inside, and that's who Maryland is in there for now. And I also see Danny Noonan in there at the tackle position playing with Maryland. So they're giving a bit of a breather to their inside starters, Casillas and Jones.
Maryland, who was the first pick in this year's draft by the Cowboys after they failed to get together with the Rocket Ismail with the Canada. Third down 3. Taylor brought down by Dixon Edwards. And a penalty on the play, holding against the Bengals.
Well, now, it's going to be 4th and about 1. You decline the penalty and make them punt? I would think so. You take the penalty, you're giving them 3rd and about 13 and an opportunity to get the first down. You'd have to decline this penalty.
I would think so. Yeah, Jimmy Johnson says decline it, make him kick.
Holding number 64 on the offense, penalty refused, 4th down.
The center, Bruce Kazurski was caught holding.
He's not even Hawaiian.
I know. I'm okay on those Samoan names.
Kazurski, all right.
Give me something that ends in SKI and I'll kick it around a bit.
Well, you know what? Cincinnati's going back on the field with their number 1 offense. Now you can look for Sam Weiss to try and pick up this first down with 0-5 record. What do they have to lose? Why not go for it here?
4th and 1. They've converted 4 of 8 fourth down situations this year. Taylor and Brooks are the running backs, double tight ends. Brooks needs 1 yard. He's got it. Following big, Anthony Munoz for a first down.
Well, that's, I guess, one of the minor benefits you have when you're 0-5. What have you got to lose? Let's go for it on 4th down here. And Sam Weiss says, that's right, we're going to go try to win this game. Play it loose and just try to have fun. But, folks, you know you can't have fun when you're making mistakes out there and fouling up. And that's what his Bengals have been doing this season.
First down at the Dallas 49. Play action fake to Brooks. Esiason in trouble, and he's sacked by Tony Tolbert.
Excellent coverage downfield by Washington and Horton. They took away that long play. Rodney Hallman was asked to block Tolbert, and I'll tell you what, Tolbert is big and quick and strong, and a mismatch for a tight end to try to handle one-on-one for any length of time.
Second time today that Boomer Esiason has been sacked. Tolbert, a 4th-round pick in '89, came in as an undersized linebacker, 230 pounds, but built himself up to 265 pounds. Now second down and 16. Tolbert coming at Boomer again. He gets it away, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Isaac Holt. The ball was down, though.
Yeah, it was down, but what these people in the stadium are screaming about it. It didn't look like a Bengal had touched Isaac Holt down.
We'll see.
Tolbert caused that interception with this pressure on Esiason, and Esiason, oh boy, threw a bad pass that time. Let's see if Holt is touched down after he catches this pass. There is Tolbert putting the pressure on Esiason. The interception. Oh, yeah, they got to make it tough, right? Somebody has to get right between us and McGee. I guess McGee did tap him down. That's what the side judge saw.
Well, the Cowboys take over following the interception. They lead 28-23 with 11:41 remaining, fourth quarter. Troy Aikman going downfield. He's got a man open, but it's incomplete. Alexander Wright was out of bounds.
Oh, if Aikman keeps that ball on the field, you have touchdown by Alexander Wright. He breezed right by him. Let's check this last play, and you can see possibly where Tim McGee does just get a hand on Isaac Holt right here. That's all he needs to do. The play's dead once the man in control of the ball is touched down by a defender.
So it's second down and 10. Wright again showing his deep speed.
Ooh, he just breezed by Billups that time. I mean, less than 5 yards behind.
He's got a 53-yard pass in the first half. Darrell Johnston drives off right tackle into Cincinnati territory at the 49, where David Grant makes the tackle.
Well, the Cowboys tried to outguess the Bengals defensively that time. They thought they could sneak a run through there, but the Bengals were playing run nicely that time. It's a guessing game. Goes on between the defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators. There's Isaac Holt. Came up with the big play. Played a terrific game last week against Green Bay. And I was told this week that Isaac Holt was kind of on the edge. You know, they were afraid they were going to lose him. He was playing poorly. And if you substitute for him, he's not the kind of guy that's going to sit on the bench. And so that game against Green Bay last week really did help Isaac Holt in his situation.
Aikman buying a little time. And it's incomplete, intended for Michael Irvin. Eric Thomas defending for the Bengals.
Beautiful timing by Thomas, being able to get his left hand on the ball without interfering with Irving. Nice pass protection, sure, for the Cowboys. There just wasn't anyone open. That right hand, well, I guess they didn't see that. That didn't make much difference. I don't think that right hand hurt the play at all. It was resting softly on the back of Irving.
Well, the Cowboys will kick it away. Both these punters, Mike Saxon and Lee Johnson, have had big days. Look at that. Saxon averaging a little over 48 yards per kick. Mike Barber standing at the 10. Bearcat signal for by Barber. And the Bengals will begin this drive at the 19. With 10:35 remaining in the fourth quarter, it's 28-23 Dallas. Neither of these teams have fared well in the fourth quarter. The Cowboys have been outscored 37-26. And the Bengals have been outscored 37-13.
Well,
Dallas leads 28-23 with 10:35 left, fourth period.
I guess that means the Cowboys have the edge in this fourth quarter, huh?
It rather means neither team will score. First down at the 18-yard line. Boomer Esiason's had a poor second half. He completes it to Eddie Brown.
Boy, that was an excellent pass that time. I mean, he couldn't have thrown that ball any better.
Gain of 14 on the play. Brown.
If Esiason keeps getting the kind of pass protection he's getting, he's going to find some receivers downfield. Bottom of your screen, Eddie Brown runs an out pattern. Look where the ball's put here. I mean, that's pretty good defensive coverage. If that ball is just a little bit behind, I guess he kind of gets the calf roped down there a little bit, or pulled down on his back. Eddie Brown shaking up just a bit.
James Washington who pulled him down from behind. First down at the 32-yard line. Craig Taylor and James Brooks are the running backs. Esiason's pass deflected and picked off by Dixon Edwards, and he is gone. the Cowboys. A 36-yard interception return by rookie Dixon Edwards, a second-round pick out of Michigan State.
It's a team game. Somebody up front created that opportunity for Edwards to make the interception by deflecting the pass of Boomer Esiason, a defensive lineman. Which one right now, we don't know, but we'll check it out.
Well, the Cowboys trying to pull away in the fourth quarter, and Ken Willis' kick is good. So with 9:53 remaining in the fourth quarter, Dallas adding to their lead. It's 35-23 Cowboys. Cowboys kicking off, leading 35-23. James Brooks again back there, but this one will go to the other man, and Brooks should stay there.
Well, the Cowboys are offside in their kickoff, so they're going to bring it back. They're going to make the Cowboys kick again. Tell us about young Edwards, huh? Dixon Edwards, Cincinnati native now?
Went to Aiken High School in Cincinnati. His dad put him through a rigorous training program as a kid. He had him lift weights for 2 hours a day and then run a mile and a half at a Cincinnati high school, and he comes back to victimize his hometown team. Jim
Jeffcoat kind of victimizes these Bengals, too, by tipping that ball up in the air on the right side of your screen. You'll see Jeffcoat get off the block of Munoz and deflect the pass right there. And there comes Dixon Edwards. Undersized linebacker. He's made it from high school through college into the pros on desire and determination.
Dixon Edwards III, if you will. Take a bow. Bengals have turned the ball over twice in the second half so far. Boomer Esiason has been intercepted twice. There's big Jim Jeffcoat hooked up in a battle with Anthony Munoz today. And the man of the hour, Dixon Edwards.
Well, you know, the big difference is the Cowboys got 14 points off of their 2 turnovers that they got against the Bengals, and the Bengals were only able to convert 2 field goals off the turnovers they got.
Ken Willis will kick off from the 30 following the penalty. 9:47 left in the game. Brooks and Lynn James awaiting the kick. Stay in bounds. Another mistake by the Bengals as he goes out of bounds. This team is snake bitten.
I know you want to field the ball, but when it's that close to the sideline, you might want to let it go out of bounds and get the ball on the 35.
Redskins leading the Browns 35-17 the fourth quarter. The Saints and Eagles in a low-scoring game. No change to the Buffalo Colts. Still 42-6. Well, what happened to the low-scoring games? Scoring supposedly down in the NFL this year. What's happening to that theory now?
Well, we figured
out the window.
We figured that it would balance out, and what's happening is some of the better teams are beating up on some of the teams that are struggling.
Greg Taylor on the carry, but here's what we're talking about. The scoring after 6 weeks. Average points per game, just over 35 points per game this year. And look, compared to previous seasons, 41 last year, almost 43 the year before that.
Well, you know, one of the theories is Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator, of the Cowboys, told me that the defenses are making the offenses earn more. They're playing softer in the secondary, trying to come up, take away the big plays, and jar the ball loose. So that may be why we're seeing the lower numbers.
Boomer Esiason with time. Complete to Rodney Holman near midfield. Trying to get by Ray Horton, who drags him down. Horton, the ex-Bengal. Gain of 39 yards on the pass to Holman.
Oh, well, when you have this much time back there, somebody's going to get open. Once again, the offensive line gives Esiason a lot of time, and Esiason smartly moves around and delivers right on target. Now, Anthony Munoz was shaken up on that play and had to come to the sideline. He's over here holding his leg. Boomer gets hit after the throw, but he appears to be okay. Munoz is out of the game, however.
It was Tony Tolbert who levered Boomer. Munoz has come out of the game, replaced by Brian Bladis. Esiason's pass caught by Lynn James. Nope, he's out of bounds. No catch.
Well, it was a nice catch by James, but the ball was delivered a bit high and outside, and no way James could get both feet down in bounds that time. Boomer's not happy with this throw. check it out. You see how far he's open, but look where the ball is. That ball stretches James out. Now he can't get there. Well, he just didn't get that right leg down quickly enough.
James, a 5th-round pick last year out of Arizona State. He began his college career here in Dallas at SMU.
The Bengals are in a 4-down zone because a field goal is not going to help their situation much in this fourth quarter. They need to get a touchdown.
And it's fumbled. The Cowboys have recovered. Daniel Stubbs on the fumble recovery, but it was Tony Casillas who jarred the ball loose from James Brooks. This is looking all too familiar as far as Sam White is concerned. 3 second-half turnovers by the Bengals.
2 of them led to touchdowns. No telling where this one's going to lead. You got to figure that, oh, nice. He just got the hand right in there. And that was Tony Casillas that got his hand in there to knock the ball loose from Brooks. I'm surprised that it was knocked loose that easily. It really didn't look like a big lick on the ball, but Stubbs made a nice recovery.
First down for the Cowboys at the 34-yard line. Emmitt Smith driven down by David Fulcher, who's played well. There is a penalty marker on the field. Remember, next Saturday, basketball's the focus when Magic Johnson and the Lakers are really popular in Europe. Penalty is refused. So it'll be second down. 2nd and 10.
Well, Jimmy Johnson is showing more confidence than Troy Aikman in his offense this year. Last week at Green Bay, late in the game, when the Cowboys needed to hold the ball and run the clock, they let Aikman go back and throw some passes. I wouldn't be surprised to see him run the ball in this situation, but they do have confidence in Aikman's passing ability. Looky here.
Aikman's pass is complete to Michael Irvin.
Sure, there was a time when you had a young quarterback, Troy Aikman, where you say, well, let's not let the rookie or the second-year man beat us. Let's play it conservative. Let's stick it on the ground. But not this year. Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator, and Troy Aikman are so happy working together. They have a lot of confidence now in Aikman. Let him throw the ball whenever they think the defense is right for it. And right now, the Bengals have to be playing run. They have to figure that the Cowboys want to eat up the clock.
Rather ironic, the Cowboys' former offensive coordinator, David Shula, is now an assistant coach with the Bengals. 6:52 left, fourth quarter. It's 35-23 Dallas. Ricky Blake, who just checked back in, takes it across midfield. David Grant on the tackle for the Bengals.
This is something of a gut check for your defense now. You've seen things get turned around. You're a Bengal defender. Do you just lay down and say, here it is, it happened again? You know, we shot ourselves in the foot with the turnovers. We're going to lose. Or do you stay out there and stop this Cowboy drive? Give your team, give your offense another chance. The Bengals are going to have to reach down deep to try to stop Jimmy Johnson's Cowboys.
Bengals had a good first quarter. They jumped out to a 10-0 lead, and Sam White was telling us that if his team played well early, he thought he had the chance to win, but they went flat in the second quarter, and turnovers have killed them in the second half. Johnston and Blake, the big backs in the backfield, and Ricky Blake is stacked up for a loss at the 46-yard line by Natu Tuatagaloa and Alonzo Mitz.
You know, folks around Dallas in the National Football League are seeing a different Cowboy team this year, and this is the way they were put together right here. A couple of big trades. Jerry Jones, of course, buying the Cowboys made a difference with Jimmy Johnson coming in. And then Troy Aikman. I mean, if there is ever a franchise quarterback, he is it. I promise you, this guy can play. Herschel Walker trade to Minnesota gave the Cowboys some quality players. If you look at those names, Holt, Stubbs, Smith. There's Jerry Jones in the striped shirt there standing up. And it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Jerry. Should we say how old he is today?
He is 49 years of age.
All right.
You have to be factual.
Yes.
Penalty marker down as Aikman's pass is batted down.
And nearly intercepted by David Grant.
He had one last week. Flat on his back, he intercepted a deflected pass.
Well, he's warmed up. He should have held that one.
A couple of Cowboys slow to get up.
Are you kidding me? Fulcher's not happy with this call at all.
Offside on the defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
On the defense, does that mean it's more than one guy offside? Gee whiz, Sam Weiss might want to know, well, who did they call offsides on? He named my whole defense.
I believe it was on Alfred Williams, number 94, the rookie linebacker from Colorado.
Well, whomever it was on, it's a 3rd and short right now for the Cowboys. Lined up. Well, yep, there it is. That's it, and the ball's moving. He's across the line, Elvin Williams.
3rd down and 1. Darrell Johnson picks up the first down. Well, the Cowboys maintain possession. Joe, we're seeing all these mistakes by the Bengals in the second half. When things like this happen, does it become contagious when you're dropping passes and committing penalties and doing all the things to beat yourself? Is there something that just kind of steamrolls after a while?
Absolutely, no doubt about it. You start trying to play a little more carefully. You start trying to be a little surer of yourself. And you start aiming your passes as the quarterback a little more rather than just letting them rip. As a runner, you may be more concerned with the ball that can even lead to some fumbles sometimes. So sure, these guys are just hurting themselves, and they're not playing the way they would be playing if they had a better record, certainly, with more confidence. They're playing with a tremendous lack of confidence right now.
Aikman staying on the ground. Ricky Blake to the 34-yard line. Tackled by David Fulcher.
Yeah, Dallas wants to just take some time now. Let that clock run down. Frustration of Sam Weiss. That is an awful start. And then remember, they have to go to Buffalo and, Houston after this. So if you think this is the worst start since '79, folks, you're fixing to see a real bad start the next couple of weeks if these Bengals don't pull something out of that magical hat somehow.
And there is a feeling that there may be a number of personnel changes if the Bengals don't win this week. I think you might look for some moves to be made by Cincinnati in the next week.
Sure, you want to see who can play for you next year. You might want to start developing some young players.
Ricky Blake is brought down. Ickey Woods is not active yet. Former 1,000-yard rusher as a rookie said he's ready to go. Physically, he's sound. Sam Weiss says his timing is not there. He's not quite ready yet, but there's a chance that he could be activated.
Yeah, Ickey Woods still doesn't appear to be the player he was before he hurt his knee.
Coming up next, the second half, our doubleheader, either the Oilers and the Jets or the Dolphins and the Chiefs. Check your local listings for the game in your area.
Those Chiefs are coming off a big win, huh? They put a number on Buffalo last week.
Emmitt Smith is back in the game for the Cowboys. 2:56 left, fourth quarter. Dallas just eating up time, preventing the Bengals from getting the football. The Cowboys lead 35-23. On the verge of winning their fourth straight. Aikman's pass complete to Rob Awald. And Awald has a first down. A 245-pound, 5-year veteran is acquired in a trade with Phoenix. The third tight end, along with Alfredo Roberts and Jay Novacek.
And Jay Novacek was the receiver that opened that zone up for Awald to make the play. Two Bengal defenders jumped Novacek as he turned upfield and left the open area for Awald. And, of course, Aikman smartly found the open guy. There's Novacek. Oh, he is a good receiver.
Troy Aikman today has completed 14 of 22 passes as we get down to the 2-minute warning. And the Cowboys are in good shape on the verge of winning their fourth straight. A Canon Camcorders replay of the game. Ricky Blake in his first carry in the National Football League. A 30-yard run and a touchdown for this refugee from the Canadian Football League and the World League of American Football. A guy who never played college football. One carry, one touchdown. The big plays have really hurt the Bengals. The long passes, the 53-yarder to Alexander Wright in the first half, a 26-yard pass to Novacek in the first half, Blake's 30-yard run, and then, of course, the turnovers figuring prominently in the second half as far as Cincinnati is concerned. This is the 10th play of this drive. First down for the Cowboys. Tommy Agee gets the call. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, Cincinnati Bengals, and Dallas Cowboys. All rights reserved.
Pretty good weekend for this Texas sports. You see these Cowboys are whipping up on the Bengals. Texas beat Oklahoma yesterday, huh? And did Rice upset, I guess it was Baylor that was a powerhouse.
See, your alma mater, Alabama, won big with 61-0 over Tulane.
Please, yeah, Tulane, they're not what you call a powerhouse these days.
Second down, 11. Cowboys trying to run out the clock. Emmett Smith. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. The coordinating producer of the NFL on NBC is John Ferrachis. Today's game produced by the one and only Larry Cirillo. Our director today, Peter Bleckner. Our associate director, Carol Larson. Our production associate, Jenny Huber-Kincaid. Larry Lefebvre, our technical manager. Ken Goss, our production manager. And Jeff Port, our technical director. We'd also like to thank the guys in the booth. Statistician Richard Simmons, who took time out from his aerobics program to be with us. And our spotters, Chris Hall and Mitchell Cleaver, the son of the late Frank Cleaver, former CBS sportscaster whom I had the pleasure to work with many years ago. Emmett Smith on what should be the final play of the game. So the Bengals stumble again as their record falls to 0-6. The Cowboys improve to 5-2, winning their 4th straight game. Sam Weishover congratulating the opposition. He says winning isn't everything, but he wants to win as much as anybody, and his team takes another defeat, shaking hands with Jimmy Johnson, who has to be pleased. His Cowboys going from 1-15 to 7-9 last year and to 5-2 so far this year. 35-23 our final. We'll be back.